Hello and welcome to this lesson. And today we're going to be talking about the Anglo-Zanzibar War, the shortest war in human history for my intro to secondary education class. Shout out to you, Dr. K. It does not want to work. There you go. So basically, let's look at what happened beforehand. The Zanzibari Sultan Hamid bin Fuwani suddenly died on the 25th of August, 1896. And basically, what happened here was it was kind of like a little bit of a secession struggle. It's like who would take over the island of Zanzibar, which at the time belonged to Germany. And this is where our buddy Khalid bin Bagash comes in, and he self-imposes himself as the Sultan of Zanzibar that very next day, which kind of pisses off the British as they wanted Hamoud bin Mohammed to take rule of the island instead and be their sultan. And the ultimatum was sent after British ships were sent out to the island, and this was ultimately rejected by Gosh. So this happens in the morning of the 27th of August, 1896. The British sent another ultimatum to Bagash, telling him to step down by 9 a.m. local time that morning, or else the British ships will be ordered to open fire. This did not happen as the ultimatum pretty much went unanswered, and thus the war began at 9 a.m. on August 27th, 1896. But it's just kind of like a rundown of what happened during the war here. So 9 a.m., the British ships and the soldiers, which pretty much totaled some 3,000 soldiers, some artillery, and 5 ships, began opening fire on the 400 Zanzibari soldiers on the shore defending the Sultanate building in the capital. Basically the results of all this conflict was the capital, basically the temple was set ablaze by the British artillery shells. And a little fun fact, a yacht actually opened fire on the HMS St. George, but despite their best efforts, that yacht was easily taken out. So there goes that naval effort right there. That's a zero. There were 500 casualties, whereas the British only suffered 1 casualty, which was a soldier being wounded. And then about 38 minutes later, a ceasefire was called, ending the war. And this was really because of this fact in the aftermath. Our buddy Khalid bin Bagash retreated and sought asylum at the German embassy on the island. Hamoud bin Mohammed was appointed sultan that same afternoon that the war, if you want to even call it that, happened. And Zanzibar pretty much became a British protectorate state. Basically, what this means is the British did not fully take over the island, but more so, what's the word? They had troops on the island to keep Zanzibar safe. And this was until their merger with Tanzania in 1964. And what happened to our buddy Khalid bin Bagash? Well, he was arrested during World War I by British troops, and then he later died in 1927. So to summarize the whole thing, the war lasted only 38 minutes. This pretty much became the shortest war in human history, the longest one being the French-English War, known as the Hundred Years' War, that lasted 116 years from 1337 until 1453. Zanzibar again suffered 500 casualties in the 38-minute conflict, whereas the British only suffered 1. This all started with the death of a sultan and a citizen frustrated with being passed up for the sultanacy multiple times. He's like, all right, I'm done. This is mine now, and I want to take it. This is mine. And basically, the failed ultimatum began the conflict, and it ended when he fled to the embassy, which ended the fighting. Muhammad was crowned that same afternoon, and Bargash was captured in World War One and later died in 1927. So that wraps up this short lesson. Sorry about the shortness of it. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. They're always appreciated. And as always, thanks for watching. Leave a like or subscribe. Check out the Comment Sports podcast. I will link to that as well in the description. But anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. And au revoir, mes amis.